And if you ask me, I have come to the conclusion that men are not lonely enough. Men aren't lonely enough for me. They're just not. Men are not lonely enough. Men need to be put in isolation. I think caution tape. I think warning labels. I think anything that a man has ever done, there should be a fact sheet that is attached to this man so you know what you're getting into. Men are not lonely enough. And as a woman, I firmly believe that if you want to maintain a certain amount of safety, the further you are from men, the safer you will be. There are so many examples of this, from social media to TikTok, different shows that people binge watch. I'm looking at Love Island. I am looking at Pop the Balloon. I am looking at the Man of the Year trend. I am looking at I Am Happier Now, that trend that's going on. I am looking at different shows like Nelly and Ashanti. What the hell is going on with Nelly? That's a whole different issue. How are you jealous of your child? Yeah? How are you not willing to help parent the very offspring that you brought into this earth? That's a whole nother issue. I'm looking at the Diddy trial. I'm looking at the Tyler Perry lawsuit. I am looking at just the most hideous and violent and villain-like and insidious and psychopathic behavior coming from men. And men wonder why there's a male loneliness epidemic. Who the fuck wants to deal with that shit? Y'all need counseling and isolation. Counseling and isolation. Because it's wild to me that people believe that they are going to find the love of their life if they wade through all of this crap. And ladies, I'm sorry. Does it require ego death? It does. You may not find the love of your life. You may not get the partner that you want. You may not have the male companionship that you seek. But I know for me as a woman, I would rather eat good food, have good friends, live a full life with fun, adventure, a good career, some pets, some land, maybe grow something, than sit around and ruin my mental health, my physical health, my financial health, chasing a fucking man. These dudes are princesses. Like, listen. Ladies, leave these men where they're at.
It's always like the women with the whatever this is that are loud and hate men. So she sounds like just like multiple women that have that thing. So it could be vice versa. Everything that she's saying could be applied to her. I think not enough women are have experienced what it's really like to really be in a survival situation. I think they're coddled so much to the point that they talk the way they talk and they act the way they act. If we were in, if World War III starts, the dependency on men will rise. Your femininity will have to come in because you will need to depend on a man, and we will value them at much higher rates because we're not going to do what they do. If all men were wiped off, society would collapse because they are what build everything and make everything run and go. Anything that I've learned, to be honest, I know this is like a hot take, but I've learned from men, like emotional regulation. I've learned from, like, before when I was around women all the time and I was like running to feminism, I was running to women, I had BPD. I was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, so always living in fear. I was moody. I hated my life. I was speaking like her. I was angry. And it wasn't until like I actually centered myself around men and I submitted to my husband and I just submitted to listening to men, having male leadership and everything, where it was wiped away completely. My mental health became like, it was like I could see. So what she's saying is just like, you wouldn't even understand. We would all collapse. We would all hate each other. We'd all fight. Like, I just don't agree with anything she said. I think the women themselves, the fact that she's saying that, she's just living a very privileged life and doesn't understand how necessary they are. So I just hate whatever.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of projection. The the ability to even voice complaint is by the grace of men. Like literally, men build the world in a fashion where you have the freedom to complain about the very people that create the technology for you to complain about men on.
Yes. That's
Like,
what's if they wanted to, if men decided we've had enough of you women talking bad about us, we have decided collectively to come together and we're going to actually not take away all of your rights of speech, just they could do it. They literally could do it. So by force. So it's
yep,
out of their unconditional love that she gets to speak the way she is speaking, because they can take us back to how it was before actually men fought for feminism. That's why it went anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So these men that care about women fought for them. I will never forget where there were this video I had watched where he was talking about how there was a school for women out in the Middle East,
mm-hmm.
and the American men were like defending it or whatever, and then they decided to leave, and there was like a terrorist group that was coming to bomb it, and they were like, hey, us men, we can just leave, and the women can't defend themselves. Like, they cannot defend themselves. So once the men left the school to defend it, it was gone. You don't get an education. So it's by men protecting women that we even have the safe space to get to where we're going. So it's like in an instant, if they decide they don't want to protect us anymore, they've had enough of us, it could be gone. And I just think there's a lack of appreciation for everything, for what men have brought to us. It's crazy.
I appreciate you saying that, because how do you think, from your point of view, do we get back to a space where women can openly appreciate men without women shouting down those women that actually value men? Because not every man is unfaithful, undisciplined. There are some well-meaning people out here in general, because there's so many ways that things could go, just like you described from a chaos theory perspective. But like, what do you think women need to do in order to balance out this ongoing gender war, so to speak, that's happening all over social media?
Man, you know what? I have been trying to think about that for the longest. It's almost like, does a war need to happen for us to
Hmm.
for a lot of this stuff to die out? You know what I'm saying? I'm an extremist here with things. I don't know how much I can say this on like a
No,
public.
no, be as extreme as you want, because this is beyond the algorithm, so
You know how like with evolution, like the weaklings have to die out. I almost
yeah.
feel like we need like a war where all of this stuff, like bombs happen and stuff, and only the strongest survive. That literally the women that know how to just like submit to the man and the strongest of men survive it. Where the woman gets on board and understands like the role and position she needs to be in, and the man, he's out there fighting, protecting, and sacrificing, and those
Mhm.
people survive because they're actually in their order. And all the other people, the women, the feminists that think I'm strong, don't need no man, I mean, you're the first to go because you don't have nobody protecting you and shielding you at the front door. So that's what I think. Like, I'm an extremist with this. It's like something big has to happen where it like shocks us back almost into your actual primal instincts, because
Yeah,
this is just
it's not sustainable. um I've been a proponent of that as well, because like beyond the algorithm is about touching grass, really dealing with reality as it is, and not just your emotional dump offs that you use social media for. Because yeah, I get it, it's a place to vent, but it also reveals the fact that you probably need to go to therapy. You probably need to see, you probably need to be around people that have actually experienced some level of real oppression, and realize that by grace of men, that you have the ability to air out grievances, because there are places out here that that do not afford women that opportunity. And as a former service member, you know, I've worked in places where patriarchy is a real thing, you know, which most of the world still operates on. It's only in the Western world where you see conversations like this that allows you to openly, you know, castrate men and emasculate your sons, and they're way more comfortable with turning the sons into princesses than anything, you know. So
Yes.
now it's gotten to the point
as a mother,
you know, and it's gotten to the point where I think that the only men that women will listen to are the ones that wear a dress. So when it comes down to discussing which men they want to hear anything from, whether it comes down to what they wear or whatever. But like, I got a video I'm gonna play now.
Hello everyone. So
this lady is in Iran, and I saw a lot of conversation when Iran was a big hot topic. It still is, when it was pertaining to a lot of black women were saying they feel like women do in Iran. And I'm like, interesting. So I found this. So let's check it out.
Hello everyone. So this video is for the people who are backing up Iran right now, mostly Democrats, that they are supporting Iran right now. So I want to go over a few rules and laws in Iran about women. Basically, it's everything against what Democrats believe. So if you're a woman in Iran, they see you as a half a brain. So you don't have the full brain. So let's say if you witnessed a murder and you're a woman and you want to go to the court and say that you witnessed a murder, there should be 3 women. So your witness, like your words, will be approved in the court. Versus if it's a man and it witnessed a murder, only 1 man is enough. Why? Because they say women have half a brain. If you're a woman in Iran, you have kids and you want to divorce, you only can have that child until 7 years. After 7 years, your child is for your husband, and he can come and take the child away from you, and you might never ever see your child again. Or if he doesn't want to, he can leave this child with you, and there is nothing that you can do about it. If you're a woman in Iran and you want to divorce,
say again,
real quick. So one thing I'm gonna say this, controversial, but what she's saying, that is real, true oppression. But what is interesting to me is how women have all of our rights, and what we have done with them have proven that we're not the brightest tool in the toolbox, right? Because Kamala Harris was running for presidency, and she has shown more reasons why she would fail America and be the worst president ever. And women were voting for her just because they were told by other women to do it. And nobody was thinking, like, people were walking out on the street interviewing these women who were going to vote for Kamala Harris, and they just said, well, she's just a black woman. And they would have a long list of reasons why she's not qualified to do this, and it didn't matter to them. So do I think that women have half a brain? No. But do I think that with all of our privileges, we're majority of women, I'm not saying there's really, really, really smart women, wise women. I'm just saying that the majority voters for Kamala Harris were women. So it's giving not making the best decisions. You know what I'm saying? Controversial. Just saying, I said, you know what? I don't think we should be voting, because clearly women have shown they don't vote well. The only women that are voting based off of more logic have husbands that taught them, this is what we believe in, this is what we're going to do. And so they just more so added to his vote, like he voted, she added to it. And so, yeah, that's my opinion. Go ahead.
oh, you have to go through hell. But if your husband wants to divorce you, it's super easy for them. If you're a woman in Iran and you're being beaten up by your husband, and me as your neighbor call the police and say, my neighbor is, hitting his wife to death, police will do nothing. They will say, Well, it's a family matter, and it is his wife. So basically, a wife for a man is like an object, just like they bought a car or something. So they will not interfere, and they will say that it's their personal problem, it's not our problem. If you're a woman in Iran and you want to travel out of country, you have to have the approval from your father if you're single, or your brother if you don't have a father. If you're married, you have to have the approval from your husband. So basically, your husband has to sign a paper that gives you the permission to leave the country. And let's say your husband said you can't keep the kid. Until that kid is 18 years old, you have no right over that kid. Basically, if you want to leave the country, the kid cannot leave the country unless the father approves it and give the permission. If you're a woman in Iran, you can never become a judge, because they say women decide with their emotions, so they cannot be a good judge. If you're a woman and you walk into your home and you see your husband with another woman and you get mad and you kill them, you will be hanged. But if you're a man, you walked in a room and get your husband with another man, you can kill both of them and nothing's gonna happen to you. In Iran, you will be hanged if you kill someone. That's the punishment. But if you're a woman and you kill someone and your punishment is hanging, but you are virgin, they will first rape you before they hang you. I know that you can't even put this in your imagination, but that is true. Because in Islam, you cannot hang a virgin woman. In Iran, if a woman does not want to sleep with the husband and have sex, and the husband basically force you and kind of rape you, actually it does not count as a rape. So your husband can basically force you to have sex, and there is nothing that you can do about it. In Iran, a woman cannot sing. No man can hear your voice singing. In Iran, if you're a woman and you get raped, do you know what's the first thing that they ask you? What did you do that they raped you? As a woman in Iran, we get sexually assaulted every day. Me, myself, I've been in.
All right, folks. Appreciate you sticking with me to the end. This has been another episode of Beyond the Algorithm. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go get the book. And most importantly, I will see you beyond the algorithm, because that's where life actually happens.